Summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair. Walk with me. All summer long we sang a song and strolled that golden sand to sweethearts and hey, and Nolan's here. Member berries, Andrew, Wolverine, Oink. Hey, Morgan, Dark Dingoes and Zurzul, Big Green, Xeno Games, Silarak. Yeah, wow. Some people got. Looks like some people got notified. Once again, as always, I've been asked by you two to apologize on behalf of Susan for any time that notifications go out. They didn't mean to do that. Decent KS says we're gathering. Yes, we are. God damn, you guys. Uh, I've really been missing doing live streams. Holy shit. It's amazing how much that affects me. It's just, we're leaving not tomorrow, but next Saturday. And I've been putting together lots and lots of extra content for while we're gone. And it just hasn't left enough time to stream. And it's like, I feel like a little lonely waif left out into the world, into the cold. Yeah, I'm not little or waifish or waifuish. Ruby, you do get notified? Yeah, pretty much. Not much of anybody that is a regular has said they get notified all the time. Some definitely get notified more often than others. But we have mods who have been with us forever, been moderating the channel or in every stream, and they can't even they can't even get notifications on everyone. Dorgan says, "I'm here for the free food." Free food. I'm fucking all about that. What are we eating? As long as it's not American cheese. Arthur says, "Excuse me. What do you do when you have no motivation for days?" I I gotta say I don't have a lot of good advice I could give you on that one, Arthur. That doesn't generally happen to me. I mean, I'll have a day here or there where I'm like, I'd rather just kind of hang around, watch porn. I mean, watch sports. Um, but it's rare, and it doesn't go on for days. Somebody else in the chat here might have some good tips, but without not experiencing it, I don't really have anything good for you off the top of my head. There's nothing good on my head. So, Zorzel says, "Who do I bribe to get your react to short trailer?" I'm not sure what you're saying, Zurzel. As far as a reaction video, yeah, I'm not looking for any recommendations on them right now because again, I got such a long list of stuff. I've got a bunch of reaction videos already ahead because I'm trying to keep things going here at the YouTube channel too while we're gone. And I've got to, that's right, I've got to post another poll for you guys too. I want to decide finally what show now that we're wrapping up because the premiere, thanks, Kip. The premiere of the final episode of, yeah, Squid Game is coming up in a little over an hour. And we had talked, and I know we had the last poll I posted had a few of them, and you guys voted for the one about the drug runner there. It's a rough day for it's been a bad post concussion day all day today with trying to think of names of nouns. Breaking Bad. But I've thought of a couple others since, and I wanted to see what you guys thought most highly of. I was thinking of Cobra Kai, and I forgot the third one was I was going to ask you guys about. Oh, The Sopranos, and see what you guys would think. Zeno says, "I work on Sunday, then off the full week." Thank God. Oh, cool. Oh, that's nice, Zeno. Isn't it when you got a full week off? Oh, I remember those days. You just get so jacked up for that whole week prior. Arthur says Gintama. Uh, Gintama. As far as no. I'm talking about stuff. I'm talking about reactions for the YouTube channel. So as we're able at least to do Squid Game without an issue, and from looking around, it seems like a lot of these TV styled shows. I don't know if they're still TV shows considering they're sent on streaming services, but these TV shows, it seems like if they're edited up in a certain manner, we can watch them together. And so that's why I thought I wanted to get you guys' take on which of them seem like they would be the best. Morgan says, I found out I'm going to LA for a few days in December for work. I am so excited. Beachfront dining, here I come. Oh, that's cool, Morgan. I haven't been to California since I moved from there. Would have been 1981, I think. Yeah, that'll be cool. Hanging out on the beach. Nice. I wouldn't mind going back to visit. I would never live there again, but I wouldn't mind visiting. Dragon says, what's the difference between Santa and Tiger Woods? Santa only has 3 hoes. Barry says, Boruto filler reactions. Ooh, Barry's, I don't know. I'm getting older. I don't know if I could handle that kind of excitement daily in my life like that. Chrome says, I'd suggest Netflix's Daredevil or maybe Star Trek DS9. Maybe a chance to finally see Doctor Who. Star Trek, the only thing I would hesitate there, Chrome, is Star Trek obviously is a series I know well, and it never really interested me. Even when I was younger, when the original came out, I would watch it here or there. The only reason I've suggested the ones I have is they're all obviously big series of the last 20 years or so that seem to have quite a following. I know of Netflix's Daredevil. Doctor Who would be interesting. I don't know how the gang would take to Doctor Who. I hadn't even thought about that one. That would be an interesting one. Yeah, I know Ruby a lot about Doctor Who. Spaz Kid used to be way into it, so I know the basic parameters of it. I might be able to throw that one in the poll as well, but I gotta get that posted. I probably, whatever series it is, I probably won't start it or test it out until we get back, because I don't want to start and then just be off of watching them for a week. But I want to get a feel from you guys to see what you guys would most enjoy. Now with those though, no matter what wins, if I do post them and there's limited enthusiasm for them, I won't continue with it just because they take up so much time to get edited up just so and everything that I just don't have the time to spend on something if it's not something that a good number of people here really want to get involved in. Oh, Dragon says, if a crippled man tells stories about himself, would that be Veggie Tales? Zeno says, any chance we see anime movie reactions? Not likely. Again, movie reactions are an entirely different beast from as far as fair use than are any series. Yeah, very unlikely. Cold Cut says, you ever think that maybe these chats get too weird and sexual? No. Now that I have your attention with this controversial statement, put down your pitchforks and listen to this, boobas. No, there's no such thing as too weird or too sexual. A kid says, a kid 39 Entertainment, my cousin broke his ankle tap dancing once. Really? I didn't realize tap dancing was that dangerous. That's not, especially as a kid, when you show up at school and stuff in a cast, and the story you have to tell is that you broke that ankle tap dancing, it's probably just gonna get you beat up or something. I would have made something up. I would have had a cooler story. Hard tackle in soccer, hard tackle in football, something. Dragon says, what's the best thing about dating a blind chick? She can't identify you. Yeah. Well, if you let her touch your face enough, though. Chrome says DS9 basically goes out of its way to go against what Star Trek is. It's basically a Western set in space. Also gets kind of dark, does it? That's cool. Big Green says, but Curtis, the Boruto filler gets good 349 episodes in. Those are some of my favorites, Big Green. And what BG has been making reference to is every so often we'll get people in asking for Boruto reactions. And on a number of occasions, they will come right out and say, now, it started slow, but at episode, fill in the blank, episode 146, it really started picking up. So it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to start a series that even a fan of that series recognizes is slower than shit for the first 140 episodes. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Arthur says, there's a YouTube channel that's called TJW Parso. Post highlighted Star Trek Next Gen episodes in the form of clips would be easy reactions. Well, I'm not looking. Like I say, I'm looking for an actual series to react to, not necessarily clips from a series. And that's why I'm going to have that poll, is to see which one that the gang would most enjoy watching along with. Same says, please don't, it's just horrible. I lost track. My friend, I don't know at what point. You mean Boruto? Please don't? Oh, don't worry. Wolverine says, Emerald Sky? You can't deflect the Emerald Splash? Huh? Lute says, also, I was promised pent-up explosions. Where are they? Oh, the sticky stuff is pent up. We got to stream once this week. Oh, the sticky stuff may injure me on exit today. Chrome says, Boruto is now 226 episodes long. Is it really? Holy shit. For comparison, original Naruto before Shippuden is 220. Fucking yikes. I remember when Boruto was first getting started. I remember you guys. Yeah, okay, same. Yeah, no worries. I just don't have any interest in Boruto for a couple of reasons. One is I really enjoyed Naruto and Shippuden, and I was very pleased with the way it ended. I thought it ended great. So there's that. But on top of it, again, as I said, I've been really fortunate that I've enjoyed all the anime I've seen, and that's because everything I've seen has been recommended by you guys. So when the preponderance of the same people who have been showing me all this great anime are saying, no, don't watch this, obviously it's going to make me believe that watching it may not be in my best interest. Hey, Wolverine took over Stream Boss. Oh, it was a JoJo reference. Okay. The Emerald Sky. I didn't catch it. Gotcha. Let's see. Dragon says, fun fact, the guy who played Asmodeus in Hell of a Boss episode 7 was the original genie in the Aladdin Broadway musical. Really? He also plays Lafayette in the Hamilton musical. Oh, and he plays the one that actually played it in Hell of a Boss? Wow. That's kind of cool. They've got a hell of a cast in Hell of a Boss. The voice acting is just, Brandon Rogers at the top is just amazing. Arthur says, no, it does full episodes, broken up into 10 videos each, but it picks out the best episodes in order, so you'll get all the best and notable stuff. Yeah, like I say, it's not something I'm looking for, just because I've listed all those other series that I haven't seen and do interest me. And again, just because Star Trek has never really been of a big interest to me. It's not something I would jump into first, certainly before all those others, because Breaking Bad, I've always thought sounded like it would be a good time, something fun to watch. Same with The Sopranos, and Cobra Kai as well. And I haven't seen Cobra Kai I've seen an episode of, but other than that, I haven't seen anything on those. No, Oink says, what's large, yellow, and can't swim? A school bus full of children. Oh, that's so terrible. Cold Cut says, watch out, Curtis. The no-nut police might try to restrict your sticky stuff by grabbing hold of the tool that makes it. If it comes to that, unleash the flood. Yeah, well, you guys know, I am not a participant in No Nut November. I am not a participant in No Nut anything, especially at my age. If I can hammer one out, I'm hammering it out. I I shall not comply. Arthur says, "Have you considered one episode from each?" I'm not. I'm not sure what you mean. You mean continually going from one to the other, or one episode from each to make a determination? I wouldn't do that only because that then it's not necessarily speaking the whole series. It would just be okay, who had the best first episode. All those series are rather lengthy. Just because somebody might be better with the first episode doesn't mean it's the best series. I'd be much more inclined to leave it up to a vote and know that there's a number of people who think that one is better than the others. Dragon says, Asmodeus is the prince of lust. Oh, okay. Okay, I couldn't remember the name. The one singing about lust in the episode. Gotcha. Gotcha, Dragon. That's that's a really freaking big name when you consider the accomplishments to have in there. That's kind of cool. Chrome says Boruto's meant to have a time skip eventually, so we'll probably get when Boruto Shippuden from people. I just vaguely hear stuff about it. It makes my eyes roll. Jiraiya clone, Kurama dying. Yeah, I heard about both those things. Yeah, and again, that's the biggest bottom line to me is just what I said. You guys have led me to where every anime I've seen, I've enjoyed. So when those same people are coming to me and saying, "Yeah, don't do this one," it's kind of a no-brainer. Gabe says, "Doctor, this might hurt. Child, okay. Dr. Santa isn't real." Nah. Yes. Hey, some doctors are just sociopaths, like, in any other profession. Arthur says, darn, I really want to get someone to react to Star Trek. Nicholas says, "Hey, Curtis, I got into an argument with a guy about Western Allied WW2 war crimes. I happened to mention French Moroccan troops and what they committed as an example, and I got called a racist." Well, the thing of it is, Nicholas, and I think we're all seeing that now, racist is one of the key words for any one of a number of things. Most specifically, okay, I'm losing an argument, or your views don't align with my own. It's really almost become meaningless because it gets thrown around so often in situations that it's just totally inappropriate. Lou says, "No Nut November is old. Non-stop Nut November supremacy." Oh, I wish I could participate in that one, Lude. A few years ago, I would have. I'd give it my best shot. I get it. Best shot. Okay. I kind of like that one, Alex. The quickest way to a man's heart is with Chuck Norris's fist. That's pretty good. I like that one. I was always a big fan of the Chuck Norris memes anyway. Lou says, "The one thing I'll say in favor of Boruto, I think you'd enjoy it. You're not hard to please." No, that's true. I'm not. And the show has its moments. It's extremely polarizing, and this community just falls on the it's shit side. Yeah, and I think more than that, too, you're not wrong. I am easy to please. That's by design. I go into something looking to enjoy it. But what would keep me away from it is because there are so many people who don't enjoy it. And you have to add to that, there are so many series that we talk about all the time, well, you guys know, over at the Goosh, that have yet to come that the vast majority of people do like. So in other words, if we were running out of anime, it'd be different. Then I'd feel about it differently. But there's so many things yet that I want to see. Hell, we see it all the time with the Gusher 100 videos. I mean, look at how many different series we got going, and they're all so freaking good. It's just, it's amazing to me how much great anime is out there. The one I posted today, this Brynhilde is really fascinating. I like that. Talk about a neat, unique, weird, and quirky story. I like Brynhilde a lot. That's been fun. Chrome says, "Hey Curtis, tell me, is this the tone the original Cowboy Bebop gave you? Because this is apparently what Netflix what Netflix's one will be. Okay, hold on. Let me grab Chrome's link. Based on the marketing so far, Netflix's live-action Cowboy Bebop will have a similar tone, humor, and fourth wall breaking to Deadpool, which should be a clear sign the anime adaptation can work. I think, because I love Deadpool. I think Chrome, like anything else, if they do it well, yeah, I think that's a neat idea if it's done well. My big thing though is, now I know there's been some conversation because we had determined that there's no Radical Ed, but now the production company has said, "Oh, don't be so sure." And I don't know if that's because Radical Ed was actually going to be in it, or they already heard all the feedback and decided, "Uh-oh, we're not going to get off the ground." But I can say this: if Radical Ed is not a part of it, I will not watch it. That pisses me off. That's one of my all-time favorite characters. But as far as the breaking the fourth wall type stuff, I think that could work. Yeah. Dragon says, I have some sad news. The Australian inventor of the boomerang grenade died today. Rest in peace. Okay, that's pretty good. Lud agrees, says, oh, absolutely. There are 1,000 series I'd have you see before Boruto. And that's where I'm at. I mean, it's fun to make it. To me, Boruto's a lot like Yamcha, especially with what I've learned about him. It's always going to be fun to make fun of him. But he really isn't that bad a character, especially now that I know more about him. Boruto, by the same design, for me, probably wouldn't be that bad. I would probably enjoy it. But there are just so many things that seem more appealing that it just, I don't know, with as old as I am, it probably will never get to Boruto. Arthur says, next post, okay. I've been unlearning the horrible trait that the internet taught me, to care what other people on the internet think. Oh, yeah, you got to unlearn that, pal. They wield no power. Their approval is worthless, and the world is massive. Right. That's a large part of the strife in a lot of people's lives nowadays. And I qualify that. I mean, especially for somebody like me that spends so much time on the internet. A lot of you guys, I honestly and truthfully consider to be friends. So if one of you, if Lud, if Arthur, Chrome, any of you guys in here, if you had something to say to me that's a criticism or even a question or something that you think, that you wonder why I do something a certain way and it may not be for the best, so on and so forth, whatever it is, I'll listen. Now, I may not agree with your assessment, but I'll listen and I will give you an honest retort. But for the larger internet, just random yazoos on the internet, I couldn't give a fuck less what they think. And to me, they only exist as fodder to be mocked and derided. And I have a great time doing that. And you're right. That's where you got to get, pal. You can't worry about what randoms on the internet think about anything. Because you have to remember, the internet for so many people is a place where they can go and try and bring down others because their lives are so abysmal and they're beat up every day in real life and they're basically useless, that this is where they come to try and make somebody else feel something. And to me, that's just laughable in and of itself. They can't do Ed live action. Lolly is dangerous. I don't know though, Arthur. I don't think Lolly, Ed fits in the Lolly category at all. Do you? Because she didn't even have that, like, that overly cutesy look or anything. She just looked like an awkward little teen prodigy. Chrome says, like I said, I've got plenty of magical girl shows I could show you before you get to Boruto. Princess Tutu, Precure, Sailor Moon. Hell, we'll probably get to manga reactions for Boruto. Yeah, you're probably right, Chrome. You are. And I was really amazed, and I've told you this over and over, how much I'm enjoying Card Capture Sakura. That's a lot of fun. And what was that? Oh God, what was that? Titles are not going to come to me today. The other, that magical girl anime I watched that turned so fucking dark. That was cool as hell. I enjoyed that show. I did not expect that at all. The way how dark that went. Arthur says Ed is definitely a lolly. She's flat. Yeah, yeah. See, I never saw her as lolly at all. Again, just because they didn't. To me, though, again, the lolly is the cutesy little thing. I guess it's kind of like a lolly is the early version of somebody who's going to become a waifu type. That type of demeanor. And Ed was just, again, that's one of the reasons I loved her. She's just like this awkward, kooky, quirky teen who's extremely intelligent and gifted. Oink says, I got kicked out of class today. My teacher asked us what separates people from animals. Apparently the Mediterranean was the right answer. Jesus Christ, dude. That's a quality answer, though. It really is. Yes, yes. Magic of something. You're right, Lud. Mordecai, I could... It's bad enough that I can't remember names, and that one had such a bizarre name. Modica... It was all M's. Magica, Modica, or whatever it was. Anyway, it was fun. It was really good. Seven Sins says, hello, Curtis. I've been a long time follower of the channel. Recently, however, I got banned on your Discord server because two dumb friends went trolling on it and I got banned. Could I please be unbanned? I don't get to the Discord server nearly as much as I'd like to or I should. I don't think we have any of the I haven't seen any of the Discord mods here. The best thing I can tell you is now all of our YouTube mods here, Big Green, Chrome, everybody, Philip when he's in, also spend a lot of time at Discord. Is your screen name the same there? I'm sure they would be willing to look into it for you, and if there was no real reason for it, they could do something for you. But that would be the best I could offer. Unless it's something egregious, I don't overstep there because I'm not there enough. I'm not going to be a dick and just come in and say, hey, this is my server, and even though I'm not here every day, you did this wrong, and I'm gonna trump your decision. But if some of the other mods here want to become involved on your behalf, I'm fine with that because they're there every day. Madoka, yeah, Big Green. That's what stuck out in my mind about that one is just it turned so goddamn dark. And again, it was a magical girl anime. You didn't expect that. Nolan says the all M's name you're looking for is Mommy Milkers. No, I would have remembered that. Even when I'm having one of these bad days with the post concussion. And it's funny, guys, how I can honestly, well, I've been dealing with it a long time. I can tell the difference just in the way it feels when I'm having trouble remembering things because of the brain damage as opposed to just getting older. And I'm having a really tough day. The few remaining brain cells are just like, nah, fuck it. We don't want to be involved today. Chrome says, I still can't believe we're over halfway through Sakura, even including filler. Still got like 20 episodes left. It's been insanely fun. It's just such a great group of characters and everything. I just, they're and the whole little relationship thing with, Sakura, Toya's friend that she's always after there. Again, another name gone on my mind with her pursuing him and seeing the little moments they have together. And then, of course, the friendships in it are just amazing. Thank you. Chrome put it out there for me. I wasn't going to remember it. Puella, Magi, Madoka, Magica. Yes. Because, again, I'm having a bad day from memory anyway. And that name just it wasn't going to make it. But that was amazing. That had a whole bunch of what the fuck moments. Dragon says, never go kayaking with someone who had a cerebrovascular accident. They'll hear the one word they never want to hear. Stroke, stroke, stroke. Oh. Code says, I'm surprised that Virginia turned red. I guess there's still hope in America. Code, I will say this. I think if the midterms were held today, oh, it would be really, really bad for Democrats. Now, you can never tell what the pervasive feeling is going to be in a year, but right now it would have been bad. I mean, that even more so than that. It was if you'd told me 2 months ago Virginia was going to go red like that, I said, nah, probably not. But by election day, it seemed like it was a possibility. What I can't believe is that Jersey election was that close. That was even more of an upset. It just being that ridiculously close. And things like, well, look at that truck driver. In New Jersey, the truck driver won a seat in their Senate against the guy who was running the whole show, had been in there for, I forgot how many decades. This truck driver beat him, spending $158 on his campaign. So that means what should be the big flashing red light of alarm to Democrats. How could people know who he was? They didn't. People went through and just voted for anybody with the R next to their name instead of the D. Instead of the D next to their name. That should be scary. Samuel says, a little dark joke for you. Did you know about the boxing pirate? Me, no. Why? He had a mean left hook. I love terrible jokes like that. Excuse me. Nicholas says, I'm from the old Dominion of Virginia, and I'm happy my state turned back to red. That was a couple points. That's a convincing victory. When you consider that just last year, Biden won that state by 10 points. Now the governorship goes red by 2 points. And like I said in Jersey, Biden wins there by 16. And the incumbent Democrat governor can hold on to his seat by a little less than 2. That's a harbinger there. Arthur says, next post, I've noticed the puritanical elements of the right have been sparking up again lately. We need to break away from the two-party system and focus on libertarianism. I do agree with the two-party system being a folly for us now. Libertarianism, just like Democrats and Republicans to me, have some areas in which I agree with them. They have some stuff that I think is just nuts. But in the near future, you're not going to see a departure from the two-party system. They've got us locked down because what happens is anytime a third-party candidate has any type of momentum, whichever side, Republican or Democrat, that they feel will be most adversely affected by this third-party candidate getting attention, they beat them down. And immediately becomes, well, if you vote for that candidate, you might as well just say it's a Republican-leaning candidate. If you vote for that candidate, then you might just well give it to the Democrats and vice versa. And that's why they never get off the ground. And that's not going to change anytime soon because the people within those parties will browbeat anybody that they feel is going to take away a vote from them. Chrome says, actually, let me rephrase that. We're over halfway through original Sakura. There's the sequel series. We could do it after it or Tsubasa Chronicle. And both those series feel more natural than Boruto. Yeah, like I say, I agree, Chrome. You know, I just from what you guys have told me about Boruto, even if I did enjoy it, which I may, as silly as it may seem, I bet you I would have enjoyed Cardcaptor Sakura more. Oh, okay. Arthur says, I mean libertarianism, the ideology, not the party. Okay, that's more. For the most part, then yes, I agree with you. For the large part, yep. The two-party system is a disaster. It's not untrue, Seven Sins. It wasn't for the longest time. It was working. But now there's become such vitriol. And beyond that, both parties have become so corrupted and so unwilling to lean towards the other at all. That's what's made it really just a dire situation. Again, look at that poll that came out. Was it last week or week before, I think, when they asked people how many thought that violence would be necessary to get the country back in shape. and 30% of Republicans said yes, it would be, and then 17% of independents said it would, and 11% of Democrats. Those are all ridiculously huge numbers. Tells you a lot about where the country is right now. Morgan says, I voted for Biden, but him falling asleep at that summit was fucking embarrassing. That was not a good look. I'm not pleased with his performance. I just didn't want Trump. If a decent R is on the next ballot, I'll probably go R. Morgan, what was even worse, I mean, what about him quoting Mussolini while he was in Italy? He's, again, and I've said it before, even though I voted for Trump, we've had two presidents back to back who are just absolute train wrecks on the international stage. And just train wrecks basically with the way their minds work or don't work. Marcel says, lots of love from Malaysia. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. From Malaysia. Nolan says, doesn't help that the third party people tend to just bring their own idiocy and looniness to the table. You're not wrong. Look at Gary Johnson. Dude didn't even know what Aleppo was during the peak of the Syria crisis. You're right. You're right. And that's a solid point, Nolan, because if you look at every third-party candidate, even going back to the little guy there, or the little chicken guy there, I talk like this. I can't remember his name. Back in the 80s, he made a run. But it doesn't take long before you see the insanity that they bring to the table. Chrome says, someone actually did a mock-up of what 2024 would look like if everything swung by the same amount as Jersey. Oh, swung by the same amount as Jersey? That's interesting. I want to see that. That's got to be just a red wash. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I was just going to say before I clicked it, you're going to keep California and New York, and that's about it, pretty much. Well, New England and California. Wow, could you imagine? 378 to 160. Yikes. I'm surprised Illinois would still be blue. I didn't realize that one was that much of a blowout. Wow. That's stunning. Oof. We're getting close to Nixonian landslide there. Chrome says apparently the lesson Biden took from New Jersey is that we aren't going far left enough. Not a joke. It's what he said. It's beyond belief, Chrome. It really is. I mean, you didn't get the president of the United States didn't get the message in that vote at all. In the fact, just like we talked about, that there's proof that people just went through and voted for anybody but Democrat. That's an issue. And you think it's because you didn't go far enough left, despite the fact that the far left candidates have been losing almost universally, with a few exceptions like in AOC's district, across the nation in their primaries, including presidential. Bernie Sanders was the front runner. And when it came down to him or Biden, the demented but centrist candidate, it was a blowout. He destroyed him. I don't know. I don't know what they base their thought process on. But if they continue like this, yes, they're giving away. They're giving Congress entirely away to the Republicans in 2022. Anbu says, "What up, Candy? What did I miss, brother?" Just the good old free for all Friday, pre-sticky stuff excitement. And Anbu took over as Stream Boss. Peter says, I am one of the many who were totally wrong about Biden, and it hurts. Well, I'll tell you, Peter, I think that's what we're seeing the backlash of now. And Chrome said it herself, too. A lot of those votes, I said that at the time, it's not hindsight, a big hunk of those votes were anti-Trump votes, not pro-Biden votes. And now people are finding out that, and hey, that's understand. Even as somebody who voted for Trump, I completely understand that. But a lot of people are coming to the conclusion that, okay, maybe having a guy who says inappropriate, mean things and is a complete and total bore as far as a person is still better off with his policy-wise, what he brings to the table than is Biden. I think that's where a lot of people are now. Jester Swartzen says you're like the YouTube grandpa everybody needed. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I like that. Being YouTube grandpa, I'm good with that. Well, thanks, Jester. Curtis is like the combo between the fun grandpa and the crazy Uncle Yalud. Like the two of them had a big fight, and this is what emerged. Yeah. Mike says, I would hate to live in America because politically your options are shit and shit filled with razor blades. The only thing I can say there on our behalf, Mike, is I think you'll find that's true in a lot of areas of the world right now. I'm sure a lot of the UK folks that are here with us all the time would feel that same way about their elections at the moment. Sevenson says, what are your thoughts on the winner-take-all system for elections? Do you think our elections should become more like Europe's where we get proportional representation? Personally, I'm a traditionalist on that. Traditional for us. I like that. I think it should be the way it is as far as, like you say, winner takes all. This is, in running the government, the president, vice president, so on and so forth, your party wins, your party controls. I think our checks and balances come in, obviously, when you get to Congress. So, in a way, and it's a roundabout way, that's how we have a similar system in place, because we all know if a president is of one party and both houses, or even one house, but especially both houses of Congress are the other party, there's your checks and balances right there. Does it lead to gridlock a lot of times? Yeah. But there's a lot of gridlock when one party has all of them too, because they're just dysfunctional. Andrew says being a good guy is so hard. Get it? Yes, I get it. Dirtman Band says, I have a joke about chemistry, but I don't think it would get a good reaction here. I like science puns. P.S. You should do a reaction to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They're up over at our Patreon, the Goosh Dirtman Band. I love JoJo's. JoJo's is awesome. And that's one of, I had no choice there because that's Spaz Kids. I believe it still his all-time favorite anime. So he was bound to determine I was watching it at some point. Morgan says, yep, mine was an anti-Trump vote. I just hope he's not on the ballot next time so I can vote red. I tell you, Morgan, and again, it goes to, you guys know, I'm perfectly willing. I don't have a side. Just because I lean right now, it's because I don't like what the extreme left brings to the table. But that said, the Republicans are morons too. They're letting him dictate, and it's going to be terrible for them. In 2024, if things continue even anywhere close to the way they are right now, if you run any half-decent Republican candidate that isn't Trump, if you run Nikki Haley, I think even if you run Ron DeSantis, I think they win easy. Again, if the public perceptions remain basically what they are now. But if you run Trump, who knows? Because there's still going to be so many anti-Trump votes. And again, I'll vote for him because I vote for the politicians, for the president, strictly on policy. But I completely understand why people won't. Lunatic says, I really like the idea of a single transferable vote, but we would need computers we actually trusted to implement it. Yeah, with the word trust, Lunatic, yeah, you summed up a lot of the issues with anything moving forward. Hey, Philip. He says, hey, Curtis, I'm on day 5 of NNN. Oh, no, not November. I think I might actually go the distance this year. Just need to keep watching Red Dead 2 gameplay and read the latest Conan the Cimmerian book I got. Yes, it's distraction, Philip. All about distraction. Morgan says, oh God, not Ron DeSantis. Imagine actively trying to kill your residents. I don't know, though, Morgan. You got to remember, again, I'm a numbers geek. I love stats and that type of figures. The numbers don't bear that out. The states, localities that didn't do any real lockdowns or even much with mask mandates did not fare any worse than the places that went hardcore for it. I mean, it's just true. It's just the facts of it. Do I think that masks helped? Yes, I do. I don't think it's as significant as some people would want you to believe, but I think they helped. Hardcore lockdowns, I think no, did not. I think going from masks and social distancing to hardcore lockdown is a negligible difference, if one at all. But I mean, he's got, when you look at the numbers, he didn't do any worse, and in some cases did better than New York and California, and specifically California, where they really went hardcore. Coldcut says, so if you were Asian, would the sticky stuff be teriyaki sauce flavored? Checks over my shoulder for the Twitter police. Yeah. Wink says I was going to do NNN, but then I looked in the mirror. Andrew says I'm Hispanic and I truly miss Trump, man. Well, Republicans in general are doing very, very well with Hispanics, Andrew. This election too in Virginia. And that trend really did pick up during Trump. Trump did really well, especially like in Florida with the Hispanic population. Morgan says, my thing with DeSantis is how he actively wants to punish the municipalities that choose to have mass and vaccine. I agree with you there, yes. Yeah, that's bullshit. I agree with you 100% on that. But you guys know I would say that because I'm such a proponent of, hey, let people live the way they want to live within their communities. Now, I've got no problem with DeSantis saying, hey, the state will not issue any mandates, but taking that next step and saying, and neither can you to an individual municipality when that may be what that municipality wants. I agree with that. Yes, I do agree with that. But again, that if I didn't, it'd be hypocritical because I've always said, whenever you can, government itself works better when you can get it refined down to the individual people who make up an area. Chrome says I was 100% right on Biden, and I can guarantee you it's going to get a lot worse before it calms down. He's going to push further authoritarian left as he feels more desperate. It's starting to look that way. I was not right on Biden. And again, I'm on record saying it. There's a video of it. As much as I voted for Trump, I was like, well, as long I think I got to give Biden a chance, and I thought he had the backbone to do the right things and not be swayed by mobs. But he's absolutely been a complete pushover for mobs. Thomas says, I live in Florida and I'm happy we have DeSantis because I at least can go eat and work without the mandates. Well, that's what I mean. And I agree that he should, if that's how he felt, that there will not be state mandates. That's good. That's his job. But I don't think he should have disallowed individual communities from doing it. Because if that's what those leaders wanted to do, let them do that at their own peril. Because if you have leaders in a certain community saying, oh, no, we are going to mandate masks here, that works itself out. Because if the people within that community genuinely did not want those mandates, and they see that the rest of the state, or that the state itself has said it's not necessary, that'll get people interested in local elections, and will get the people who are not reflecting the will of the people bounced out. Code says, who do you think the GOP rep in 2024 is against Kamala? Like I said, I think the two outside of Trump, who's obvious, if he runs, he's probably going to get it. I'm thinking Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis as of right now. I think if they convince Dan Crenshaw to run, I think he could make a run at it. But those are the ones I'm thinking. I don't think the Democrats want Kamala, Code. They might be forced into a corner because she's been vice president. But throughout, I mean, even as Biden's numbers are plummeting, Kamala has stayed well below him. Much, much less likable than Biden. She's, and it looks like it may be the case. If she ends up the party's candidate, they're in trouble. Cold Cut says, I don't know. For me, I found Biden sniffing children odd, but someone on Twitter said he was just quirky, so maybe I'm the one who's wrong. Well, no, I don't. I don't think you're wrong. It is definitely odd, but it's also true that he is quirky. He's always been that way. He's always been a gaffe machine, and he's always been good word for it. He's always been quirky, a little bit strange, but he was not someone who looked to be in the stages of dementia that we see now. There's a difference between being quirky and being prone to gaffes and not being able to keep your train of thought on the tracks for more than a few seconds at a time. Chrome says Biden's very much to the left, not as far as AOC, but people underestimate how much he thinks government should control people's lives. They're now saying parents have no say over their kids' education. Well, that's why I lean right now, is you got so many people on the left, and they're coming right out and saying, listen, let the government help you. Let us show you how government can work for you. And fuck you. Government, no. What that means is, give us more of your money. We're going to show you how we can distribute it around to make everything a nirvana for you. Yeah, fuck it. You keep your hands off my fucking money, and you just be an arbiter of keeping things fair within the free market economy. Yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's exactly why I lean right, because of that. Fuck off, train. Philip says that's more or less the strategy I'm going with. Distraction for NNN. Instead of going to Pornhub or and hentai, I'll just watch Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay, read the stockpile of books I've got, or watch my Netflix watch list. There you go. And then the worst thing will be, Philip, you'll be watching something off your Netflix playlist that you think is, perfectly safe, comfortable, no problems, and then they'll pop in just this really super hot nude scene out of nowhere, and then you're like, oh, like unfair. Yeah, Big Green, give money, please. Yeah. Lex, please assume the position. Morgan says, my one big worry electing Republicans is reproductive rights. I hate these heartbeat bills, even in the case of rape. That's criminal. Yeah. Well, again, I'm pro-choice too, Morgan, so I can agree with you again. And this is why I'm an independent, because I go so much back and forth, side to side, depending on the issue. I will say, so far, everybody was frantic about the Supreme Court when you had Barrett Coney go in and what's his face? Oh gosh, the one that they pulled the doctor out of the woodwork from 30 years ago to say he touched her inappropriately, Kavanaugh. But I think from what I've seen, and it includes, those challenges they had regarding the Texas law, it seems like they are legislating by what they feel is their interpretation of the Constitution and not by politics, so far anyway. So if that's the case and they continue doing it, I think things will work out okay as far as reproductive rights. Convo says what you just said was a mood, Curtis. Was a mood, Curtis 2024. Yeah. Yeah, Kavanaugh, Morgan. But if you look at their voting record, I think it's been fair. And I was looking for them to be over the top too far to the right. But I think they've been pretty fair so far. Luke says, I failed NNN on midnight of the first. I have the world record. Marcel says, hey, Curtis, I just watched Meat Canyon's Wabbit season. I'm going to get a cardiac arrest tonight. Help me. Yeah. Well, listen, watching any of Meat's vids, there's always the opportunity for a cardiac arrest. I just recorded the latest one, the mukbang one. It'll be going up to the channel in the next few days. Guys, I'm going to have to let you go. I got a couple of things to do downstairs, and then I'll be right back up here for the 2:30 premiere of episode 9 of Squid Game. So, yeah, Squid Game was so fun. That's why I'm hoping we can find something, and I'll remember to do that. I'll post the poll to the YouTube channel so you guys can help me decide what TV series to try next. And I'll make one video of it. We'll see if there seems to be interest in it. Oh, Jesus says, Jesus Christ is here, guys. I hate when people use my name during fun time. I look down and I see Nothing but balls. Jesus Christ. I know what you mean. It's got to suck to have a name that is bandied about so much in those situations. I can empathize with you, my friend. Guys, thank you for this. Now, again, I am not a believer in No Nut November. If I can be lucky enough to know that I'm doing it. However, that said, we got to stream, other than today, once this week. In the words of Joseph, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I love the English in JoJo. But that's a backup. It's been ages since we only streamed once in a week prior to Free For All Friday. So you should not only probably get out your officially licensed sticky stuff fanny packs, you might want to get out a fucking umbrella for this one, because it's been backed up, and it's I no promises. I have no idea what's gonna happen here, but here it comes. Pampu, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff. Holy shit, this is like a fucking fire hose. Sticky stuff for you, sticky stuff for you, because we'll bang, okay? Flashing like buggy, and as always, most importantly, and despite the fact that I just emaciated myself, it's still badass. Goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.